Brad from the CoreIntegrator team, and I'm excited to tell you about our mobile app for capturing all your expense-related transactions. I've got another quick video that talks more about managing the actual expense report created automatically from the expenses you capture here on your phone. Be sure to check that one out as well. So first things first, how do you get the app? Just open the App Store or Google Play and search for CoreIntegrator Mobile Travel and Expense. It's a free download, so just click it to install on your phone. Once you have the app loaded, let's open it up, go to the logon screen and enter your normal user ID and password for CoreIntegrator. If you don't have one, or don't know what it is, ask your CoreIntegrator admin and they will help you out. Once you've logged in, let's start entering some sample expense transactions. As you can see on the main screen, we have options to create a new expense transaction, view some of our most recent expenses, and if you created any transactions offline or just saved them to finish later, they will show up here under Pending Expenses. And if you swipe from the left to the right like this, you'll get some more options. The top section is a quick link to everything we just reviewed on the home page. The middle section is where you can set defaults for more rapid entry of expenses and where you can save information from previous expense transactions so you can use them over and over. We've added a bunch of things like this to make this a fast and easy process when entering new transactions. If you want, you can log out here, otherwise we'll keep you logged in so you can quickly get to your expenses when you need to. Under About are some details about the version you have and a link to this video if you want to see it again later. Let's get back to the home page and create a new expense. Just click here to get started. What you have is a single screen that will allow you to enter transactions one at a time, provide descriptions and notes, identify the expense type like meals, mileage, and travel, the amount of the expense, how you paid for it and who should get charged, as in a specific department or location in your company, and of course you'll be able to take a snapshot of your receipt and submit it with the rest of the information. If you're tracking mileage, we have some pretty cool features for that as well, which I'll show you in a few moments. I'm going to start off with a sample expense for a business meal I had with a client, so let's walk through this together. First, I'm going to use my company's default reporting period, which is a weekly expense date range of Sunday through Saturday. You don't have to specify any date ranges, the system will take care of that for you. But to be sure about your company's setup, you should check with your administrator to see how your system is configured. Custom date ranges will create a unique date range for a specific series of expenses and is managed separately from your standard company-established date ranges. Since you will want to track your expenses as they happen, we've defaulted the transaction date to today's date, but if you need to change it, just click on the calendar like so and pick the appropriate date. It's that easy. Next, pick the expense type. In this case, I've set up my default expense type to meals, which is what I use most often. I set this up earlier in the default settings we reviewed at the start of this video. You can change it to whatever works best for you, or just leave it blank if you want. As you can see, we've got lots of expenses to choose from. We'll stick with meals for this one. The expense description line, unless otherwise instructed, generally ends up being a group of similar descriptions that are used repeatedly, such as meals with clients, general territory travel, or client entertainment. So we give you the option to enter in a description that suits you best, and then save it if you think you'll use it again on a future expense, or you can just pick from a list, like this. The goal is to make entering your expenses as easy and as fast as possible for you. Now, if this particular transaction is something unique and you need more details, we've got another field for that in the Comments and Notes section. This field is optional unless otherwise determined by your company policy. After that, we have a few organizational fields. First, a company field, which can be defaulted to a particular company, or give you a choice of multiple companies to charge this expense to. And then a charge location. Most times I just use my home department, but in case I need to travel to another office and I should be charging this expense to their department, I have the option to choose another department location. Again, check with your CoreIntegrator admin to make sure you follow the correct policy for these sections. You might see some additional fields in my example. There are a couple of custom fields for additional information. I'm going to leave them blank for now and go to the Expense Amount field. Just tap here and enter the amount of the expense. As you get going and save some default settings, You'll notice that I'm doing very little data entry to get this expense captured and sent on its way. Before we get to actually capturing the receipt, we have an option field for the type of transaction, which could be your credit card, cash, or a company credit card. Pick the correct option for this transaction. And now for the receipt. We've got a couple of options for you. If you have your receipt, you can press the camera icon and take a picture directly from our app. The image of the receipt will be displayed here. If you already have taken a picture of the receipt, click the attachment icon here and choose the receipt from your existing images on your phone. For now, you can attach either photos, JPEGs, or PNG images, as well as PDF documents. And for PDF documents, if you want to preview the attachment, just click here to view it. Once that is finished up, you can clear this form to start over, save it and submit later, or just press submit like I'm doing with this transaction, and everything will be sent over to your full expense report where you can view it later and submit for approval. I'd like to show you one more expense type, and that is for mileage. Mileage is handled a little differently because generally you get reimbursed on miles traveled, not based on a specific receipt. So let's jump back in and create an expense transaction for mileage. I'll use the same defaults as our previous transaction, but this time I'll change the expense type to mileage. The major difference comes at the bottom, where attaching receipts is now replaced with your mileage entry, and we've got some cool ways to enter mileage. The first is just by entering the name of the trip and entering the total miles traveled. Again, you can save this so you don't have to do this later if it's a place you commonly travel to. Click OK and the information is entered. But let's say it was a trip that you travel on a regular basis and you've saved it from before. Well, just click here and tap on the entry of your choice and it will populate everything for you. That makes this very fast. Now, how often do you go somewhere and you forget to set your car's odometer, and now you're either trying to look up a previous trip or you go to your computer and calculate the mileage separate from this? Well, we've got you covered. Just click on the map icon and now you have a fully integrated Google Maps mileage calculator built right into the app. Just like before, enter a trip name, start typing or pick from a favorite starting point, then enter your destination or even a saved one here. Let us know if you want round trip calculated for you and if you want to save it for future use. Once you're done, just press calculate trip, and if you're good, click OK and you're done. I'll just save this one for now, which showed up in my pending expenses folder right here. Well, that was a quick tour of the Travel and Expense Management app for CoreIntegrator. I hope it was helpful for you. Don't forget to check out the other video on managing your expense report. This is Brad, and happy expensing.